When you receive your DTG Viper, you're going to want some tools in order to access the machine and get into the crate. You're going to want a razor knife, you're going to want a pry bar to take the lid off the crate, and a hammer. The first thing you want to do when you receive your Viper is you want to walk around the crate, make sure there are no physical signs of damage. You also want to inspect the tilt watch indicator. Tilt watch indicator indicates whether the machine has been jarred or tilted during the shipping process. Now let's start uncrating the machine. Okay, after you've loosened up the lid, we'll simply take it off and set it aside. It's better if you have a person that can give you a hand with this. And now unpack the crate. Inside the crate you're going to find things like your platens, and there's going to be boxes inside here. These boxes will contain your supplies. Your rollers are in here. Your paint sprayer for applying your pre-treatment. It's very important that this box right here in this back corner, that this not be lifted off. This box is tethered to the machine with the ink tubing. It's now a good time to remove the packing list and compare the contents of the boxes to your packing list. Depending on how you ordered the machine, that will match up to what the contents of the box are. I believe in this case, this person has ordered some additional items than the standard package would come with. The contents of the crate will vary based on how you ordered the machine. So it's very important that you compare your packing list to the contents of the crate. So let's take a look at what we have inside here. Some of the things that you'll have will be pre-treatment. And this normally comes in liter bottles. White ink. This normally comes in 16-ounce bottles. Your cyan ink. Your magenta ink. Your yellow ink. And your black ink. Some spare ink cartridges. These are not real cartridges, these are the dummy cartridges that we use in the Viper. We have flushing solution. We have a syringe for doing our maintenance, along with the tips for the syringe. And one of the most important things, you have a box that says DTG Rip Pro on it, and that is the security key for your software. We have some release paper for your heat press, and we have some cleaning solution. The Wagner sprayer that's in there is for applying the pre-treat, unless you have a pre-treating machine. Now we're ready to remove the Viper from the crate. When you lift the Viper, you definitely want to have at least 2 people, and you want to lift from underneath the bed. So you want to reach underneath here, get a good firm grip, always lift with your legs, lift it up, and set it on the edge of the crate. At this point in time, you can re-grip, get a nice firm footing, and then lift it onto your nice sturdy table. To unpack the Viper, we always want to unpack from this side over here, which is where the emergency stop switch is. There are no tubes or wires over here, so this is the safest place to remove the packing from. So we're going to remove all the packing here. We've removed all the packing. Again, this box here, you want to make sure you don't just try and walk away with it, because it is tethered to the machine with the ink tubing. So we're just going to lift this up momentarily, remove the additional packaging. And now we're ready to start assembling the ink pods. We'll start here. We'll open this box up. And the contents of this box, you have your USB cable. You have your priming and flushing bottles. Your power cord, the tray for your waste bottle, and your 2 pods. Your white ink pod is completely separate. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by removing this tape. This tape is on here so that you don't lose this little washer right here. We simply come over to the right-hand side of the machine if you're looking at the back and just hang it on here. To assemble it, we do not want to make the electrical connections at this point, but we do want to connect the tubing. So we're going to come underneath the machine here, and you've got the tube connected together. When we disconnect the 2 ends, you'll see that you have a male end and a female end. They simply connect to the male and female ends from your white ink pod. Make that connection. So after we've connected the tubing down at the bottom, we're going to come up to the top here now and we're going to make the electrical connection for the stir. We're simply going to slide these 2 pieces together to make the electrical connection at the top. Notice we still have not made the electrical connection down at the bottom, and at this point in time we do not want to make this electrical connection. Now we simply slide the door closed. Now we're going to assemble the color ink pod. We're going to cut the tape that holds this slot together. Be very careful around this tubing. Lift the color ink pod out of the box. Now we'll remove the tape from the color ink pod, just like we did with the white ink pod. Again, that tape is there to hold this little washer on. We simply come here and hang it on the machine and close the door. Now we're going to put the rollers on the Viper. So we'll remove the packaging. And they are two different sizes. There's one. And there's the second one. If you compare the two, you'll notice this side is much thicker than this side. The thicker side is the one that goes to the front. So let's show how this gets put on the machine. We simply take this, we angle this forward a little bit, set this in here, and just let it tilt down, and that just hangs on there like that. And now the one for the back goes on the same way. We simply lift it up over the little posts and gently set it down, push it firmly in place. We do want to make sure that these rollers are nice and parallel to the table. This is best accomplished if you have some kind of a straight edge. Something as simple as a yardstick will work. Simply lay it on the bed and make sure that these rollers are nice and parallel to the bed. You don't want this sticking up like this or hanging down, because that will affect the performance of the machine. This is the holder for your waste ink bottle. We're going to open this up here. We open the door. We lift up our ink bottle. We set this inside, and the bottle just sits inside that. Now we take the door, set it in the bottom, lock it closed. We also need to take the shipping bracket out that holds the head in place. So we're going to remove the tape that holds the lid closed. We'll open the lid. And we need to remove these two screws. So we start by removing this one. Then we'll remove the second one. You do want to retain this bracket and these screws. If you ever need to ship this machine, you do want to put these back in place. It holds the head so it doesn't become dislodged from the capping station during the shipping process. Now we'll remove the head bracket. We want to pull this little green lever out here that holds the trimmer in place. And now we want to make sure the head is free. So we push down on the release button here, and the head should be nice and free now. Now we can pull the head gently back over to the capping station position and lock it in place. And that's how we uncrate the Viper.